You are now listening to Oversaturated, the podcast, hosted by Johnnie and Ralph. Now let's get it.
Another episode of Oversaturated, the podcast, where we discuss music, movies, pop culture, and everything in between. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Ralph.
Welcome to episode number 189.
189. I'm sinister segue this week.
Oh, that's crazy. I like that. That's fire. New listeners, please follow us on all social media. Facebook, just search Oversaturated, the podcast. Twitter is Oversat Podcast. Instagram is Oversat the Podcast. And our email is oversatpodcast@gmail.com. And please be sure to check out our website, oversatthepod.com. Anything you need to know about OS is there.
Yes, sir. If you want to follow us individually, I'm the Mind of Ralph on Instagram and Twitter.
On Twitter, I'm JON 2_ the letter B. On Instagram, I'm JBS_ESL_AAMU. Make sure y'all holler at us. Also, we want to shout out WDJYFM 99.1 in Atlanta. Shout out to OS Gang out there, man.
You guys can tell there's a lot of voices on this audio today, right?
A lot of voices.
But this is a mashup between Oversaturated podcast and your favorite Marks, man. We just gotta give you something for the people, something for the culture. What's going on, Sam and Britt? How y'all doing?
We good. What's going on, man? How y'all feeling?
Great.
Good, man. Look, it's Memorial Day is tomorrow. Well, ours with this dropping on Memorial Day, so it's Memorial Day. Hopefully, everybody outside grilling or frying their fish and chicken, whatever they doing, being with their family. Shout out to all like the veterans and everybody that lost their lives in the line of duty, protecting the country, all that good stuff. So, happy Memorial Day, man.
Yeah,
we good. How y'all feeling? What's going on?
Man, I'm ready to get into some barbecue. Who grilling today?
I think I might end up on the grill today. Like, I'm not sure exactly what. Not sure, but I think I may end up on the grill today.
I'm being so lazy. I just don't feel like it.
Look, hey,
it be that way,
man. What it be like that for real? Sometimes you got to take the holiday just to reset.
Yeah,
reset. They don't understand. Like, grilling is like it's labor. Like, you literally have like some work, and you being out there in front of that hot grill just to make sure everything is still going. That's tiresome.
Big facts. I've actually opted to fry some chicken and fish instead of grilling. So I bought all the supplies. I went and bought a couple deep fryers. I haven't had homemade fried chicken that I made myself in years because I don't like the smell in my house. Gotcha. So I'm setting up.
Get some candles.
I'm setting up everything outside, and I ain't doing that shit.
Okay, there
you go. I am not doing that in the house. So yeah, mom's is coming over, so we gonna kick it, man.
That's definitely what's up, man. What we doing, man? Let's see here. First of all, before we get into any topic, anything about favorite Marks or Oversaturated podcast, we have to say rest in peace to Tina Turner, who passed away at the tender age of 83. And is she in Switzerland or Sweden now? That is
Switzerland.
Okay. With her, she married her rich white man and got up out of here. And I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad at her. Like, you treated her bad over here, allegedly. You know what I'm saying?
Bad.
But no.
Man.
Just rest in peace to the icon, Tina Turner. I just want to pass it to at least Brittany first, and then share anything you got for that.
Yeah. She's been ill for a while, and you can kind of tell that. It's sad to say, but when she had her documentary on HBO, you can kind of tell that she was nearing the end, just her word and how she talked in the documentary. But yeah, like Wendy Williams said, an icon, a legend, the moment. Also, make sure, we have to let them know that she has history, in St. Louis, East St. Louis, and keeping that part of the story alive. But yeah, a rock and roll icon. Yep. I just hate that, as far as like the movie and what the movie did as far as her career, and that being one of the reasons she fled and having to deal with that. But other than that aside, just one of the greatest as far as rock and roll. She did one of the most like amazing transformations from what she did with Ike to what she did as far as a solo artist. So yeah.
Yeah. Sam, what you got, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I share like the same sentiments. Like, obviously, without question, like one of the music legends in this game and entertainment icons. Just like seeing everyone share like clips of her performances when she was younger, like high energy all the way through nonstop and constant movement like that, and heels no less. Like
Man,
just
what?
working.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I am impressed, man. It's just like I wish I was able to see her live. Like I'm pretty sure her shows were remarkable, being able to be there in person. But obviously, rest in peace to the queen, to the icon.
Yeah,
for sure, man. Any elite performers there are today, Tina Turner is one of the blueprints for that. I see a lot of Beyonce in Beyonce's performances. I see a lot of Tina Turner in that. And even outside of like her complete music journey, the fact that she was able to get to a place where she was actually able to enjoy life outside of music. You know, like Ralph said, married her husband, went to Switzerland, chill. Like the rest of her life was on some. I'm probably on the yacht, chilling, drinking whatever I want to drink, and I'm good. Like I'm good. So with everybody knowing what her backstory is and her previous relationships and things like that, the fact that she was able to actually get away from that and live basically, just live. I'm very happy about that. So passing away at 83, she lived a full life, had a full and vibrant career, and was able to reap the fruits of her labor. And I love it. I love that for her. I love it. So again, I want to say rest in peace to Tina Turner, man.
Oh yeah. Ain't too much I can put on that beautifully made cake. So, you know, I think everybody dropped some great nuggets on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't not too much I can say, but just rest in peace to an icon legend, the mother of all of them. So, you know, Tina Turner. So.
Word.
We got to talk about your favorite Morris, man. We got a fellow podcast duo on OS or vice versa. We just got to get into, you know, their podcast journey, how they got to here. So your favorite Morris. How did we even come up with the name? Like the name. We got to start with the name, right?
So I tell the story all the time. So I'm gonna pass the mic to him.
No, because you go correct. See, look,
I'll fill in.
Right, but this is just every time you pass it off to me, and like I leave out details, and you jump in and correct me anyway.
And I'm gonna fill him in.
So like, why do we gotta do this every time? Like, why don't you just take the lead? Like,
that is hilarious.
Go ahead, tell the story. I said every single time when somebody asks us how do we come to be, I say the story all the time. He just sit there and listen and not tell. So I'm gonna
because you got it. Anywho, Britt and I met in a Facebook wrestling group. Shout out to the Outsiders wrestling group. Whenever we like, Britt and I would always have heavy interaction, and like it always like a pseudo competition because that's where we used to like rank like who were the top contributors in the group. And Britt used to slay all of us like months on end. I used to like talk crap to her to try to like throw off her game, but it would never actually ever work.
That doesn't surprise me, by the way. She be killing shit.
Yeah, like I've never met someone like as competitive as Britt. Like I thought I was competitive. Britt shut all that down. But obviously, like the more we interact, the more we used to like realize like how much we share like a lot of interests together. And when Survivor Series came into town 3 years ago, I forget how long ago was that.
That was almost 4.
Sure. Really? Sheesh. Okay. Britt was in town, and she ended up having an extra ticket to the Takeover show. And I live in Chicago. Britt doesn't. So she told me, I was like, yeah, I'll definitely go with you to the show. And literally from there, that's my favorite person in the wrestling group. Favorite person to talk wrestling with. Favorite person to talk music with. That's my favorite.
I get it.
So you get it? There you go.
I get it. So the title.
So you didn't do it.
Or maybe I missed it, but the title, your favorite part. How was that created?
So Britt came up with the name, so I'll let her tell that story.
I mean, the favorite is a nickname that we picked up, and that's because I got the ticket and took him to Takeover in Chicago.
Mhm.
And favorite just stuck. Like if we call each other by our government names, it don't sound right. So it's always favorite. It's been favorite since 2019. And then of course the Marks is actually a wrestling term for a diehard wrestling fan, but you can use it as far as a music mark, a pop culture mark, entertainment mark, anything like that. So July 29th, 2022, your favorite Marks was born.
That's dope. I didn't know that was a wrestling term.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
what does it mean? Like, I'm
So
marking, so I'm about to like do my finisher. Like, what does that mean?
No, so the term mark out is when like you get like I guess the most excited during whatever spot in the match you're watching. So usually, like you said, in someone's finish or when the finish happens, that's when you mark out because that's something. Or I would liken it to whenever Stone Cold music hits. That's like the mark I'm on when the crowd goes crazy because that glass shatter hits and you know like something's gonna go down.
Oh yeah.
That's like when everyone marks out. So that's where the term mark comes from.
Ah, okay. I was thinking also maybe like hit your mark like a certain spot in the ring. Like this is the mark where I maybe jump off the ropes and like slam on you or something like that.
Not quite.
No.
This is me making it up. I don't know.
But no, we're here to educate. Any wrestling questions, we definitely can fill in the blanks for y'all.
Bet. No, that's dope though. I like that. That's fire.
Are we doing anything about this?
Yeah.
We can.
Oh, I guess. Oh, well. I mean, Oversaturated podcast for your favorite March listeners is a brainchild of me and Johnny. We started this 6 years ago. Oversaturated is merely a term of the podcast market in general, and then the content that we talk about. So music, movies, pop culture, and everything in between. We started as just kind of like very niche.
Mm-hmm.
Like we only go talk a movie today. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. But no, we just kind of expanded as we became more comfortable as podcasters. So our content can range from anything that's, you know, very serious in tone to very, you know, MCU-ish. So it's like, you know, whatever we can kind of get our hands on. I mean, me and Johnny been knowing each other since 2002.
Yeah. No, it's been a minute. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
20 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We've been doing this fire and ice, yin and yang debate thing for a while. So we just start putting it on audio and video, and that's why we got here.
Yeah, I mean, as simple of a concept as it is, like we got a little something for everybody. So we tend our demographic is a very wide range of individuals. So
yeah,
we got a little something for everybody. So check us out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And I want to throw in for your favorite Marks and the OS Gang listeners. I actually know Johnnie and Ralph.
Oh yeah,
like we go back.
Yeah,
in real life.
No,
like in real life, way back.
me and Brittany used to eat lunch together in high school almost every day.
Almost every day.
Like real talk. Like we graduated from high school together. Like, were you at ROTC?
I was.
ROTC
freshman
together?
year and half my sophomore year. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, nah, we really friends. We real friends. Like in real life. This ain't internet shit. So it's lit, man. All right, so will we get into it?
Off the dome.
All right.
I got one for everyone. I think everyone will enjoy this. The weather's nice as we're heading into Memorial Day weekend. Let me phrase this by saying I hate the concept of invitations to the cookout. But often sometimes they get so cool, and I just like, you know what? I probably would, but I'm still not going to invite you. But who would you all invite to the proverbial cookout?
That's a good question.
I hate it, but I'm gonna give you my answer, right? Because it's coming from left field. I'm gonna say Nick Jonas, and the reason I said this, right? He has one song that I like called "Jealous." I was like, oh, this is a
Jealous
song.
Is a jam.
Yeah, "Jealous" is a jam, but I didn't know he did a gospel version. I was like, so seeing him with the black choir, I was like, oh, this is crazy. I really like. You can come through for real, like it's. but yeah, I was just like, I hate the concept.
Black choir is a cheat code.
But I know it's a cheat code, man. I'm just saying, how you make "Jealous" a gospel song? I'll never understand it. But hey, joint wins.
All right, I'm interested in that. I've never heard that version of the song.
Oh, it went crazy.
Jonas, that's funny. That's funny. Damn, I have no clue because I hate that question too. Anytime I see somebody on the internet say
they get invited,
I roll my eyes and keep scrolling. Like I hate it.
I hate it. But I didn't invite him. I said I thought about it.
I feel my answer might be very I don't know, simple. I'm going Jim Carrey though. Jim Carrey got his start on In Living Color, but as he's gotten older, like he sees the world differently, and I think he sees the world how most black people do. Like everything is bullshit, everything is BS, everything, and he be calling that shit out, especially to white people, and I appreciate that. So Jim Carrey can come to my proverbial cookout. He can get some ribs or something.
Baby,
Okay,
you got one?
so yep, I got one. So for me, I would possibly invite Robert Downey Jr. He may have been black in one of his past lives.
Yeah, and in the movie.
I mean,
In the movie.
I mean,
Oh, wait. That's controversial because you inviting somebody that has been in blackface. You cool with that?
Oh shoot, dang.
Listen. If that's your aunt, listen. There's no judgment here.
But
I'm gonna go to the other Robert. I'm gonna do the other Robert. That's Robert De Niro.
Okay.
I invite Robert De Niro. There you go. Now we know why.
I'm about
to
say Robert. Robert
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, another one no longer with us, but Jerry Springer, man, and another one. If you know, you know, because Jerry was for the culture this whole time. We didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I agree.
Okay. That would be a cool cookout. Robert De Niro, Jim Carrey, Nick Jonas. And look, my short-term memory is terrible.
Jerry
Springer. See, that's crazy. I feel like that would be a dope cookout. It'd be a lot of hilarious conversations there. So I'm not mad.
It definitely would.
Not mad at that. All right. So for my off the dome, I'm gonna get straight to it. Would you rather star in a hit movie with your favorite actor, or make a hit song with your favorite artist?
Hit movie. Movies have a longer shelf life to me. If it's like, I guess, a good film in my eyes.
Yeah, it's a hit. Like, it's a hit. So all of the sliders are up on both.
Oh no,
so
I'll take the movie.
2K sliders up and everything.
yeah, all the sliders is up. 99%, baby.
I'll take the movie.
Interesting. I'm going song. I'm going hit song with my favorite artist because I feel like the process of making the song would feel better than making the movie. Not saying that I wouldn't enjoy it, but being able to like collaborate with my favorite artist on like a song, this goes here, you could say this way. I feel like the process in doing that I would be happier in that process than making a movie.
So for me, I would say the movie, only because I love what all comes with a hit movie. So you got the press junkie, you got the media, you got the promotion around the world, and then of course the red carpet premiere, and then of course after the award season, that's it. You chilling. You ain't gotta worry about nothing else if you don't want to. So that's it. I definitely choose the movie over the music.
Okay.
I'm going hit song with favorite artist. Much like I would say before, like I'm for the creative process just to see like how they create and what their thought process is. And I say if it's a hit, I'm getting these royalties, son, on the back end. I ain't gonna do nothing else. That's the easy one. But I would definitely be in just for like the creative process and just seeing like the concept of how they come up with a track, the beat, or verses and lyrics and all that stuff with it. So.
Gotcha.
So bonus question real quick, and I didn't think to ask this until now, but who would the actor or artist be in y'all scenario? Now, I mean, look, you might not have an answer now, but I just wanted to see.
Oh,
okay.
No.
What you got, Sam?
My easy answer, Jay-Z.
Okay. Not mad at that. Oh, right. Brittany told me you are a Jay-Z fan. Oh, yes. Man. I should have came with some Jay-Z hate today. Just because I just wanted to see what Ralph's face was gonna look like when I said it. Because Ralph is also a huge Jay-Z fan. And I mean, I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan, but I do respect what he has done in the music, in hip hop. So, but I try to hate whenever I can, just because I'm a villain like that. I'm a villain like that. But
that's fine. I was ready. I was prepared for all smoke. I was prepared for all smoke if you brought it today for Jason.
I didn't come with any, so I wasn't prepared. But next time.
Okay. He will.
Yeah, for sure. All right, what we got next on the docket?
No, Brittany gave her favorite.
That's right.
Wrestling.
Did you have one?
About that.
I say she gave her favorite actor.
Because I don't have a favorite actress, but I have a favorite actor, and that's Eddie Murphy. So if it's an automatic hit, like you said, because Eddie can hit or miss with his movies. So if it's a hit, bet Eddie Murphy.
Coming to America 3. You gonna be in that?
No.
I would rather they do like a Beverly Hills Cop 4 before they do another.
I do that.
At one point, wasn't that in production? Did we talk about
it's something like that?
I feel like it was.
It was.
Yeah, but we haven't heard anything else about it. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I guess I have to answer the question since everybody else did. I'll go cheat code. I'll say Chadwick, because Chadwick was low key creeping up to my favorite actor. Like, he didn't miss. So
no, that's fake.
Chadwick really didn't have misses. Like, he didn't get a chance to, which I don't want to do that. But low key, everything he was in, he smoked. So if I could have been in something with Chadwick, oh yeah.
Yep.
I think Ralph and Brady know my answer, but 100% Michael Jackson. 100%. Like, come on.
I'm not mad at it.
I don't even have to say. Just
he like Michael the way I like Michael. Like, it's real like that.
Okay.
Seriously, that's crazy. But anyway. All right, so I think we got a wrestling topic. I think Brittany or Sam, one of y'all want to introduce.
So, of course, with your favorite marks, we always throw in some type of wrestling. But of course, with our mashup buddies, they are not current fans of wrestling. So I wanted to take it back down memory lane. So y'all both were wrestling fans at one point. So who were some of y'all favorites growing up?
Look, man. Obviously we're all Attitude Era babies. So I'm gonna get away from the Rocks and the Stone Colds, the Triple H's, Shawn Michaels. Okay, that's cool. I want to talk about like those niche wrestlers that was like only like intercontinental champions and shit like that. Y'all remember Val Venus?
Yes. My God.
Hello, ladies.
First of all, hey man, that was a wild era. Like, I was like, hey, this was on.
It definitely.
Every week,
so wild.
Like, you have a wrestler whose niche is a porn star, and then his finisher is called the money shot, nigga.
Awesome.
Like,
Vince no miss. I'm telling you, that was spot on right there.
I was like, you can't write this.
No censors back in the 90s. You can't do that today. You can't do that today.
Like,
that's hilarious. I love it. That's fun.
Like Val, like I remember, like just like his like intro, him in the car, just like laid back.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. Like it was like hot dogs and shit. I was like, hey, yo.
Right, it's a lot of risque stuff that you could not get away with today on TV.
Absolutely not.
Man, I got two. So again, like Ralph said, outside of the Stone Colds and the Rocks and all that, two. First one was Booker T. Booker T, I feel like, was the only like black wrestler. Like, yeah, we had other black wrestlers, but he was black. Like, he was black. Like, he was one of us. Like, he was one of them. And a part of his finisher, he did like the break dance. I'm about to spin on my side and get up. Like that. That's black. That's black shit. Like, that's my guy. The other one was Goldberg, and the reason why his finisher, the spear, I feel like was the realest thing in wrestling. Everything else I could see was kind of fake, but if he spear you, oh no, that hurt me coming through the TV. No, that felt real. It looked real. It felt real to me. So definitely Booker T and Goldberg. Those were two of my favorites outside of the mainstays.
The popular.
Yeah,
that's funny you brought them up because Booker T was just in the Royal Rumble, and Goldberg had a match last year, I believe. Yeah.
Really? Do they still
now and
make
again.
they still make guest appearances, or are they like on the main roster? Like,
Oh, the guest appearances.
okay.
But
Booker
Booker
T
T is
he works for the company now. He's a
That's what's up.
commentator for NXT, which is their like developmental brand.
Okay. Oh, that's dope.
So yeah, he's still working with the company.
You know what?
Goldberg, he had an open
grinds my
contract for
gears?
another match.
Oh, I'm sorry, I mean cut you off.
Oh, you good?
No, I was like, you know what grinds my gears? When I was the hugest wrestling fan, right? They hopped, skipped, and jumped around St. Louis. Now that I ain't really into it like that, they come like they be damn near having the slumber slams and shit here. I was like,
they stay in St. Louis
They go
now.
everywhere.
I'm like,
They go
what the fuck?
everywhere.
Like,
They will hit every small town along the way to get your ticket money. Like
look, back in the day, like you might got it in your house, but we wasn't getting no televised Monday Night Raw. It wasn't none of that. We ain't getting no pay-per-views, none of that. We getting a Tuesday night show.
Not only that,
now,
now
they come to St. Louis Raw, like Randy tell me,
we
like
had
they
the
be here
Royal
every
Rumble
time.
here. We had about 2 Raws, a SmackDown. We keep them here now.
The Royal Rumble was here. What was that?
The Royal in
Yeah.
2022
Last year.
last year.
I was sick, bro. I
That's
was hurting.
crazy. That's crazy. I didn't.
Yeah, it was
I
here.
feel like I didn't even know that. Did I know that? Did I?
No, we didn't.
I don't know.
I remember it being here, and I was hurt. I was really upset about that.
Because even with me not being as big of a wrestling fan now, like with that being in St. Louis, I would have loved to go. Like I'd have sat up in the rafters. Like,
let's get into something spicy, and I think you guys would appreciate this. I know you guys probably have had this conversation. Do you think that the lack of competition for the WWE has kind of tarnished, like hurt wrestling a little bit?
For a while, yes.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Because for a while, like the market was cornered by WWE and no one else. Even like me, like before I joined the group, I didn't know about like Ring of Honor or New Japan or AEW came around recently, but like all I knew was it was when WCW was going, I knew Impact and WWE. That was it. But and for a while, like that, I think that's kind of why I fell out because like you could tell like they weren't putting in their best effort with some of these stories, some of these characters. And you do kind of fall out, and I think that kind of suffered like with the product as well.
Yeah.
Does the WWE have writers? They have writers?
Mm-hmm.
Have they been affected by the writer strike?
They're not unionized.
Ah, got it.
Yep.
Oh, Vince McMahon don't play that, huh?
Nah.
It's like if you get into like the nitty gritty stuff of like being a pro wrestler, because like they're labeled as like independent contractors, so they don't get like health insurance for like all the stuff they're doing. Like that's all out of pocket. They got to benefit.
Vince not seeing the gates of heaven, man.
Absolutely not.
He's not. He's not.
I say that almost every day. He is not.
That's
insane.
This is my take on that, right? Because you have all the best wrestlers under one roof, one arena. How can you possibly market them to be the best and the biggest that they can possibly be? Because somebody's going to undercut somebody. That's just the nature of the game, right? Especially in something that's such an individual sport. It's not a team sport, right? So if you don't have like the WCWs, the ECWs, like now AEW, like, you start throwing out these other federations, it can't, like, I mean, you need the competition. Like, that's why the Monday Night Wars was such a big thing. So it's like, damn, like how, like, it's just like when you start thinking about it, it's like, damn it, like,
that's crazy. That's crazy. What's the difference? And forgive me if this is an ignorant question, because I don't know. So what's the difference between like high school and college wrestling, right? So wrestling teams in college, they do their their pin, things like that. Is there a difference between what happens there versus what happens like on the WWE?
Yes. So that type of wrestling, like where high school and collegiate, that's amateur style wrestling, or I guess Greco-Roman, like the Olympic style wrestling. A lot of that can translate over to professional wrestling, a la Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, like
got you.
All those guys who are like a bunch of, honestly, a lot of guys now actually have wrestling, like mat wrestling backgrounds that help them along the way. And like now they're picking like guys from the Olympics as well too. The main difference is to not actually hurt your opponent with these throws, stuff that you're doing with amateur wrestling, is to make it look like it actually hurts. So like those certain throws, you can actually really damage someone, but you really have to be in control of them to not like break their neck mid-match and stuff like that. I would say that's probably one of the biggest differences between going from amateur to coming over to professional wrestling.
Damn, I guess that kind of takes like a little more control because you have to make sure that you don't actually break a person's neck or arm or severely hurt them or something like that.
That's why they rehearse like they know before the match, like if it's on TV, they know who's winning and who's doing what. So they actually rehearse it like a couple of days before, go through the top of the match all the way to the bottom.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Or like I would even say like if you like now I guess because me and Britt watch with like a different eye now because we watch week in and week out and thousands of hours of wrestling. There are certain sequences within matches that you'll see that like it's called a spot that people normally run and like pretty much like insert wrestler here to take this spot. So like I would say the John Cena shoulder tackle comeback that leads to the 5-knuckle shuffle. Literally, that's the staple in one of his arsenal. So with that, just insert the wrestler that he's facing. It's pretty much the same way going along, and like pretty much everyone is taking that bump or that spot the same way, and like you kind of learn like where to insert that spot in the match to make it along the way. But like most matches are literally the same set of moves, just put in different sequences.
Got you. And my last question: at what point did y'all learn for sure that wrestling was staged? Like, wasn't like actually real wrestling? Like, how old were you and how did you feel when you actually found out?
So for me, The Rock, it was The Rock so he got attacked, I think it was by NWO or somebody on Raw. And like they beat the brakes off of him, like bleeding, all that kind of stuff. And then he was on Saturday Night Live that Saturday without a scratch. So I was just like, okay, what's happening? Because he should be somewhere recuperating. And that's my daddy was like, well, yeah, that it's off stage. It's not, that's not how it works. So that's why you see him here. And so he won't be on TV Monday. So I'm like, why? I mean, he's fine. And he was like, that's how it works. So yeah, that's the night I found out it wasn't real. And I was like, okay, all right. I wasn't heartbroken though.
Got you.
I wasn't sad like a lot of folks were when they found out it was staged. But I was like, okay. Now that I know, I'm like, all right. But still, even with that, I still didn't care when I was a kid. Yeah.
Got you.
But it was The Rock.
Rock,
yeah.
For me, it was like during the Monday Night Wars where like someone was on WCW and then WWF like a week later it was like, wait, timeout, how's like, and then you kind of start realizing, okay, this is a business, and like people start showing up, and it was like, and my uncles, who was the one who got me into it, they kind of explained to me, it was like, well, yeah, because they started explaining how like wrestlers that I love now were like in WCW before Vince was bought from his dad, and like light bulb went off, and like I didn't, like I said, much like Britt, I didn't feel deceived. It was just like, oh, so this is like for play fighting. So it's like literally just play fight with your friends and get paid and get the tour of the world about it. So, but no, I wasn't upset or felt like the Santa was ruined for me, anything like that. But yeah, you just learn like, okay, but like obviously you can see like some spots are real and like some stuff you can't fake.
But yeah, it's interesting, like as an adult fan, because like you said, we look at it from a different perspective as an adult fan. So like for me, I just look at the storytelling because that's probably one of the key factors of a good match or a feud is how the story pans out. Like there's a current storyline around the bloodline, which is Roman, his two cousins, which are Rikishi's sons. If y'all remember Rikishi.
I remember Rikishi.
He actually got 3 sons. But yeah, his boys, it's a storyline, all of them together, and it's literally like a daytime soap opera. So that's how you get me in, just telling the story. So yeah, it's definitely different as an adult fan.
I think it was around it was like it's like twofold. It's like around the fall of the WCW because a lot of the stuff over there was happening was so egregious. It was just like, what? And then when like you would have like cuts away at the WWE, you would have like Vince in the hospital. Yeah, Stone Cold beat him up in the hospital. It would be like shit.
Yeah.
Like, hey yo, like Booker T getting beat up in the grocery store. Like hey, I mean, it was funny though. Don't get me wrong. Entertaining as hell. But I was like, what this got to do with the match though? Like,
Right.
I mean, entertain. I think the thing is like it was just to pique your entertainment senses of everything, right? Because it is bigger than the match. So I do understand that concept.
That's crazy. I always wanted to ask like an avid wrestling fan that question, because like I guess in my brain, knowing that it's rehearsed and written and stuff like that, I guess it's the entertainment factor. And what Brittany said, it's the storylines. Like it's entertainment. It's like a soap opera, so it keeps people engaged. So it makes sense. I don't know. I was just curious. That's dope though.
I mean, there's also like wrestlers that you follow that you're fans of, because like now with like wrestlers being more social in the social media era, like you get to see like what they do outside the ring, and so you get to see like, oh, Seth Rollins is also a Bears fan, so he's one of my like favorite wrestlers. Like,
Gotcha.
you can actually tweet him and talk to him about Bears stuff. Like, so one thing he would always do with the Bears, whether they won or lost, he would either tweet, "I hate football" or "I love football," and that's like something I can always relate to because it's always something dumb the Bears did to lose the game.
Yeah.
So you do realize like these are adults too, and these are people that you can share experiences with. It's dope.
Yeah. Has the opposite happened? Has a wrestler's use of social media made you dislike them?
Oh,
Several times. Several times. A lot of unfollows. I mean,
and that's because of who they are in real life.
Right.
And honestly, I would say one of the worst things that happened is like a lot of like our older wrestlers like got Twitter and they shouldn't have Twitter. And it's like you get to see it's like, oh, is this how you really kick it? It's like,
okay.
And it's like, I used to like you. I used to cheer for you so much. And
yeah, damn, that's crazy.
And like finding out some of them like Trump supporters and this, that, and the other. So yeah, it's hard to separate the real person, especially in the ring, especially when they Trump supporters and all that stuff. But yeah. Chris Jericho,
especially in a violent sport, you like, hey, get your ass whooped today.
Right.
Okay.
You might go back to like them old school people who were like seriously in danger in some of these places. Like, you don't be talking that crazy stuff depending on where you went.
Right, no, for real.
That is very true. That's real. That's very true. What else we got? We got a remix topic, right? Music topic, right?
Oh yeah. Brittany introduced us or brought to our attention that she wants all of us to list our top 5 favorite remixes of all time. Now, who's going first? Who's going first?
Why is everyone gun shy to get their top 5s?
This one in particular, I feel like it's a little difficult because first of all, well, I stuck to hip hop because it wasn't specified. I stuck to hip hop, but it's like I feel like it's so many to choose from. How can you really?
I feel like remixes really are just a hip hop R&B type of thing anyway. So you can't really go too far from God's grace with that. So hip hop R&B, that's pretty much where it's at.
Yeah,
that's the whole fun part. Like, there's so many to choose from that creates the best dialogue.
Yeah.
But I guess because everyone's jumping shy, I'll jump in the water first. It's fine. Coming out the gate first, Flavor in Your Ear remix. That's what I'm coming with. Biggie coming on that track. Just, like, obviously it's the same beat from the original Craig Mack version, but like just having Big, LL, Busta, everybody rhyming on there and killing it along the way. Sticking with Bad Boy, I'm gonna go One More Chance, Stay With Me remix from Biggie. I think that was like the one for Big where he got the big R&B crossover, obviously, and that was like the club banker for him. Let It Go along. I'm gonna go In My Bed, So Def remix from Drew Hill.
I like that one.
That one I always was a fan of, and Honey, Bad Boy remix by Mariah Carey with Mace and Lox on there. And closing out my top 5 is Girls remix by Jay-Z.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. Here, let me get mine out of the way because I feel like nobody is going to have the ones I have over here. So, and honestly, these really aren't in any particular order, maybe except for number 1. All right, so number 5, I got Where the Party At remix, So Def. 4, I have Touch It remix. That's Busta Rhymes with everybody, Mary J. Blige and Rod Digger and everybody.
I should have known.
That was such a long track.
For sure. Number 3, I have Still Po Pimpin', Do or Die and Twister. Now, I don't know if that's an actual remix more than like a sequel, but Po Pimpin' was the original one, then Still Po Pimpin' so Still Po Pimpin'. I have the Annie Up remix, Busta Rhymes and Remy Ma, MOP. And then in doing some research, I didn't realize All About the Benjamins was actually a remix to like a mixtape track or something like that. So All About the Benjamins is my number 1. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that's my.
So usually what I do with him is if we have matches, I yell out, "We got a match." So I have 2. I have 2 with him, 1 with Johnny.
Okay.
I have Anything SWV featuring Wu-Tang Clan. Well, actually SWV, anything they did, the remix is always gonna be like 100 times better. Of course, the Touch It remix, Flavor in Your Ear, Crush on You, which I did not know as a kid that was the remix. I had no idea that was the remix, but that's the remix. I didn't know.
Yep.
And my number 1 is I Want to Be Down, Brandy, Queen Latifah, Yo Yo, and MC Lyte.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Round it out.
Well, pretty much I have Flavor in Your Ear, so everybody pretty much has that as like a consensus. Like, well, I don't think you had that.
I didn't have it.
Okay.
But I ain't mad at it.
Okay. Let's Get Married remix with Jagged Edge and Run DMC. I thought that was a dope mashup because you get the old school, kind of get their flowers at a time where you probably wouldn't think about Run. So
Facts.
I think that's dope. This is so left field, but I love Hood Nigga remix with Gorilla Zoe because of Jeezy's verse. Heard about you, baby. You can stop the acting, right? You know. Now this is where bias comes out, right? Now, Best of Me Part 2 with Jay-Z and Maya and Jay-Z.
That's a good one.
Because Jay went crazy on there. And then now this is kind of like because when I was rushing doing this, I just started putting stuff on here. I have Excuse Me Miss Part 2. Because it has a different beat. It's on the Bad Boys 2 soundtrack.
Oh, the
with Jay-Z. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I like
actually a dope one.
Interesting.
Actually, one that you mentioned too, because you mentioned Still Po Pimpin'. I also had an honorable mention for Wetter, which is like the Get It Wet sequel.
Oh yeah.
That's the one. That was the honorable mention I had that I didn't put on there as well too. But I forgot Twister killed that one too. Shout out to the Shot-Town.
Hey, no, that's real. That's real.
That's what.
Man, what?
It's literally like I feel like every time I feel like that's one like no matter who jumps on that beat, like because literally Beyonce just used the end to cuff it. Yeah, and it's like it works. It works.
Man, what?
Yeah, this is one of them, man.
Man, that was dope.
What do we have here, man? Let's jump back into since we talking about nostalgia. Let's talk about nostalgia again because Good Burger 2 is in production right now. You've actually seen pictures online of one Kel Mitchell with makeup, but we'll get to that. Just what are you guys' thoughts? Like, we can go down a deep rabbit hole with this. Like, what are your thoughts on Good Burger 2? What are your thoughts on Kenan and Kel being back together? What are your thoughts on legacy sequels? Like, let's get into it. Like, what y'all got?
Rich, you want to go first? I feel like you got thoughts on this.
You go ahead. You go first.
My concern with Good Burger 2 is like obviously like what's the story? Because like are we is Good Burger like a franchise now and like y'all got a competition coming up or it's like a legacy thing? But like you alluded to Kel's the screenshot of Kel and the makeup and that just made me look so that looks so creepy. Yeah. Like I don't know how else to describe it, but I'm going to support it because like Good Burger was one of my favorite movies growing up. But I just hope that they do it justice. My entire thoughts on legacy films is I don't want to say Hollywood's running out of ideas, but it seems like they are. And like, I mean, it's working because like our generation is going to go back and go like watch like all those like classic shows. Like I spent my hour and 40 minutes, about a little hour watching that Power Rangers remake they did, new movie they dropped.
Yeah.
Served its purpose. Could have been a little bit better, but it did what it's supposed to do. And like I think we're getting we're finally getting the Beast Wars with Transformers coming out, and
True.
I just had another one else coming out too. Well, nevertheless, but like I just hope they do these things justice for us and don't ruin my childhood by like trying to put these on the big screen now.
Pretty, what you got? What you got?
Okay, so I'm big on nostalgia. I do have my reservations and like, what's the story? Like, is Ed a manager? Is Dexter a manager? Like, what's the story? What's the plot? Like, what's it gonna be? So that's my biggest concern. I'm not mad at the like legacy because anytime we would see Keenan and Kel together, we would always say, okay, what are they gonna do as far as a movie? Are they gonna do like anything from all that? Or they're gonna do like a Keenan and Kel, like the TV show reunion. So anytime they link up, I'm like, they gotta do something because they're getting older. We want to see them together in something. So for that part, I'm fine with it. I just don't know as far as the storyline and if they have a lot to run on and if they're going to do like appearances from those who was in the actual movie, the first movie. So those are my reservations, but I'm still going to be seeing it. I'm still going to watch it.
Yeah.
As long as they figure out that makeup, because
got my man.
He looks like
it was giving Madame Tussauds.
It was caked. It was caked all on his face. And when they said he like,
that's what it was giving.
Not the wax museum. That's crazy.
When they said he looked like, when they say he like Stoney from Set It Off, I fell out.
Yeah.
That's accurate. Because I mean, only him and Stoney had them braids though. Like no one else. Okay, Mystical. Other than Mystical. Sorry. They had them braids. That's it.
But okay. Yeah. Let me start here. I'm happy to see our good brothers together. That's the beautiful thing, right? Because I know they've gone through challenges behind the scenes, and then they've come back and they mended those fences. Keenan has been a stalwart on SNL for the past 20 years. Kel has been in and out of the industry, but when he popped back out, we was like, damn, Kel back, yeah. I'm not excited for this film at all. Like, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not excited. Like, it's because I think we know what Kel has gone through and the mental health and all that. And I thought that he went through so much to kind of separate himself from that character or, how people perceived him for being that way. And I just like, why would you do this? Like, what was the check like? Because I'm more with Brittany. Like, I would have preferred them to do a show and Kel could kind of show that, hey, I might, you might be like he might work at the orange soda company. He might be in the exec or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's flip the narrative. And, they're fathers now, they're husbands. Like, it's so much we could have done with that without actually doing a good burger too. And I'm like, it's like, are we going to sit here and be like, Ed has been this dumb for 30 years? Like, I'm I'm sorry. All right.
That's a valid point too, for sure.
Yeah.
Man, if this is the only legacy sequel, I feel like my initial thoughts are no way this could work. I've made a case. I feel like I've made a case for any other legacy sequel that's ever come out in the last 5 years. This is the one where I'm like, it's absolutely no way this could work. I don't care. I don't care how phenomenal the writing is. I don't think it can work.
The phenomenal writing for Good Burger. Let's start there.
I'm just saying.
The first one was good, but it wasn't phenomenal.
Well, no, it wasn't. But I'm saying, if somehow miraculously they had the best writing on the planet in the century, this shit's still gonna be terrible. It's still gonna be bad. And I don't see it. I don't see it. I low key might wait till this mother come on streaming. Like I can't. I
I
don't
think
think I could
well,
will myself to pay to go see it.
I don't think that this is
Paramount
coming
Plus
out.
specials.
Man,
Right.
look.
I don't think this is a theatrical release either. Like this is a
It shouldn't be.
Straight to stream.
Like this going straight to Paramount
Say
Plus.
this thing. I bet.
I think because I mean,
I'm fine with
White
that.
Man Can't Jump
I'm cool with
straight
that.
went straight to
Went
Hulu.
to Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Coming
Have y'all
to
seen that
America.
one also?
So
Not yet. It's
Yeah,
on my
all of them
list.
straight to streaming. Yeah.
So most of these are going straight to streaming. There's no way in God's mirror if they putting that in the movie yet.
I'm not
Listen,
going
I
if it's in the
thought-
movies.
That's
now.
what I was saying. I didn't know.
I know Keenan got some money because he's been on NBC all this time, but like you, I don't know if you got that much.
Don't do that to our
Oh,
guys,
man,
man.
look.
When them box office numbers come back,
Rip. Just put them on the stream. Put them on the stream.
Put them on the streams, please.
That's crazy.
Please,
crazy.
bro.
Oh,
But no, that's
The only thing I do want from the sequel, if I can get a I'm a dude, she's a dude performance, I'll be happy.
okay. I'm fair.
That's all I need. At the very minimum.
Do we get another George Clinton cameo? Like, hey, that
They will
hey,
probably
hey,
do
I
that.
ain't gonna lie. It's
Hey,
like
if he
Good
get-
Burger has his highs to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I
And
watch
what's-
it.
It was
It's
crazy,
Kirk
like
comeback, as he put
like
people
young
in
me
front.
didn't appreciate like George Clinton being like that's like the mothership. Like
Yeah.
yo.
right.
Like how y'all pull this off?
I don't know, man. That's crazy. But now, man, it's time to get spicy.
Well, hold on. Before we leave this, do y'all care about the writer's strike at all? Because I wanted to ask. So they're currently filming during the writer's strike, and there are people like upset about that. So I wanted to see like if y'all like how y'all feel or if y'all cared or not.
Yes, because the last writer strike was one of my favorite TV shows, which was Heroes, and I'm terrified to see what they're gonna do next. Writer strike. I need y'all to pay them. Like,
Hey, look.
please.
Think about the shows and the movies that came out during the writer strike. Garbage.
Oh, man,
Trash,
wait.
for sure.
Garbino.
Man, what?
That was the boom in reality TV, right? Labor Love and all that.
They
Yep, they around that time.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But yeah.
I was just curious
I
because
didn't-
I saw that there was an uproar because they're currently filming, but of course we know the writers and actually some actors are on the picket line to get the writers paid. So I just thought I just wanted to see how you guys felt about that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
man.
I didn't really feel like a union was important until I actually joined. I had to be in a union because of my job. So yeah, I do see the uproar, the frustrations. Get folks what they want. Cause listen, P Valley got halted because it's writer strike, and I'd be doggone if I wait to 2025 for some doggone shows. So
For the
do what y'all gotta do.
That's done. That's just done. Like if they gotta wait any longer, Power finna get over there. Like all our little niggery shows. Like that's just
It's
done.
gonna be a wrap.
Them joints is
It'll be a wrap.
Right, they're gonna be the first to go.
Hey man, look.
yeah,
They're gonna be the first to go.
I know Power is not a good show, but that's my guilty pleasure. I watch it.
it's mine too. So hey,
Like, I know it ain't good. Like who writing this? Like that's the thing. Like hold on. Like these writers were paid, right? And this is what we got.
I'm like, wait, y'all paid them, and this is what they came
Y'all
up
paid
with?
them, and this is what we got.
Wow.
So what's gonna happen if y'all take the money?
It's for the look.
They
writing for the look.
That's
That's
crazy. Well, hey, since we talking about shows, let's go ahead and get spicy, right? Now, this is a Brittany induced topic. I just want to put that. I just want to put that
Is
out
this
there
a
for
question?
any thoughts and opinions that come out
it's
of
just
this.
a question.
Just,
Just a
yeah,
question.
throw that disclaimer.
I
out.
just
throw the
want to know.
Right.
It's a question. I'm curious.
Okay, so what you got, Brittany?
So, all right. So, of course, we always do hot topics on our show where it's always something that could probably ruffle feathers or just get a big debate online or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I took it back to 90s TV shows, which is one of my favorite realm of TV shows.
Yeah.
And Martin is my favorite. Well, I have two favorite TV shows, and Martin is one of them.
Okay.
Talks about him, one of the best of all time.
Mhm.
But I was thinking about it, and I was wondering, is Martin truly the best TV show of the 90s or the best of all time? Is it really the best, like number one above all any 90s sitcom? And I'm sticking to strictly
The black shows?
90s sitcom.
Are we talking about the black shows?
Black,
Well, them are the
Negro.
ones I
Yes.
watched, so I can.
Yeah.
I can't
All
say
black TV.
I watched a few
if
of the
I
white
can find a way to
sitcoms.
slander friends, I'll do it. But I mean, look, listen. They was getting 20 million episode. Like I don't think you really say that over there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey man, I like Friends, so I like all our black shows.
Really?
Going that hill alone.
But is Martin like well,
Friends?
for one, we have to understand. I guess we have to understand what the criteria is. One. Secondly, what are we comparing it to? I think that's where you get into the nitty gritty of it. Like, what are we comparing this to? And then obviously, I mean, I think it's understood what we're comparing it to, like the other show. Yeah. Because it's only certain shows that are considered God tier 90s black sitcoms, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's Martin, Fresh Prince, and everybody else, right? Is that fair? Okay.
That's fair.
So, well, yeah, ask me, I can point out flaws in everybody's show, so it don't really ask me.
Right, you can. You can. So this is how I tackled it. I tackled it as the fan and as a critic. As the fan, absolutely, top to bottom, best of all time. Yeah. Nothing come close to it. Yeah. But as a critic, I'm saying no.
Okay.
And the only reason why I'm saying no is because I feel how you start your show is just as important as how you end it. Okay. And season 5 fell absolutely flat for Martin, especially after Tisha Campbell refused to do any recording while Martin was in the room with her.
Yeah.
That whole, whenever that episode was, I think it was right after they did the banging in the schoolyard when it was against the women's Olympic team. After that, I think she was gone. And they just wrote her off to LA to set up their office. So all of that, it fell super flat. Like, we had more Shanae, and then we had like this fake test pilot for Pam, who was supposed to get her own TV show when she started working for that record label. So if we're looking as a critic, it's not, because that last season just really messed it up for them. And I put that in the same category as A Living Color. Top to bottom, one of the best, but season 5 just fell flat. So if we're looking at it as a critic, no, it's not. I got a couple of other shows that could probably be in the same conversation with Martin being the best.
Brittany, let me ask you this. Are there any sitcoms where all of their seasons were good seasons? Not saying they had to be great seasons, but every season was good. Like, you could watch any season and be like, oh no, that's dope. Like, what?
The Wayans Brothers.
Okay. Because that's the one I had as well. Like,
Wayans Brothers is probably the most consistent, and they leveled up. I think when he cut his hair and his shirts got tighter, that's when the show got bad.
We got sexy shows.
Yeah.
Tight shirt.
Yeah, the tight shirt, and then they didn't let him. They didn't let him camp. I mean, they didn't let him. They didn't get a proper finish, right?
Right.
Right. I kind of been on like a Steve Harvey show resurgence. Like, I've been watching a lot of that. Like, I'm not putting it in the same breath as, these shows, but the relatable humor at this point in time in my life, that show is God tier. Like, that's just, like, to me right now, like, I feel more like Steve Harvey than anything. I get it.
Mr. Hightower is your spirit animal, man. You know it.
Right.
Damn, I'm Cedric. That's crazy.
Oh, God. Oh.
Hey, yo.
But yeah, the reason I will say real quick for the Wayans Brothers, like, the reason I would put the Wayans Brothers in that category is because, like I said, as far as the consistency, and they did what Martin did. They relied on their natural talent, which is the gift of comedy. And that's what made the show a hit. Like, I can probably only imagine like how much of that was improv, just like with Martin.
Yeah.
So that's why I put them in the same category.
I think as the reason Martin is held to maybe a higher regard, like, obviously it's a cultural significant thing, right? But you being a hit show on a new network, right? You infuse sketch comedy into your show when I don't think we really had that in that way. Too, right? You get to see Black love in, I guess, a different space, right? It was just a lot that kind of went on with that. And then it's just, obviously, we know the quotables, we know the characters, we know the I guess the friendships and things like that. So I think that's what like kind of puts it above certain things. Yeah, I think it was like a first of a kind, like something like that.
Yeah,
like, it was. Yeah. So it's kind of like,
Family Matters was there, but Family Matters didn't have that comedic style like Martin.
Not at all.
Like Black love, all that stuff.
And then Family Matters it wasn't for us.
It was
a black show. It was a black show, but it was like, it really was.
They threw it on TGIF just for us. Like, okay, we gotta.
Yeah, like we gotta have a black. We gotta have a black.
Somehow.
Like,
we gotta loop them in somehow.
Yeah.
Where I stand with Martin, like to me, Martin, I guess as a fan, like gut busting funny. Like I don't care which episode, aside from last season, whatever episode you drop in on, like you're gonna laugh and you're gonna like remember. Like there, I'm pretty sure like there's some episodes we can all quote start to finish and like because we watched them that much. To your point about like all the characters, I think that was like first of its time to like have all the type of characters.
Yeah.
Like with Family Matters, like they ended up having like Stefano Urkel, and what was the Bruce Lee inspiration one? I forgot. Bruce.
Yeah, you had Myrna as well too.
Yeah, cousin Myrna, like all those like characters. I think Martin gave them the blueprint for that to like expand and like show your range of characters. Like to me, Dragonfly Jones is the funniest like Martin character that to me. That's because like my uncles were always into like those 70s karate flicks, so I knew where that character came from because like they're of that generation as well too. But yeah, season 5 kind of like made it all fall flat, and like it's like you can pinpoint where it all went left.
Yeah,
and like the ending just kind of seemed like, okay, and like it didn't give us like it didn't feel. I didn't feel like I got closure with them. Like even with the reunion now, all these years later, and like seeing the records that obviously by the time we passed, and it still didn't feel the same. Like just watching them rekindle all that as well too. But I think it's still top sitcom for me for the 90s though.
Yeah.
So can I ask the panel here a question? So everybody here has seen Martin from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I have, but it wasn't linear. So like when Martin was on, me, my mom, my sister in the house, my mom wasn't really watching Martin. So I caught, as I got older, I caught like the reruns. Now every time Martin's on, I watched. Did I laugh? Yeah. But I didn't, and this could be because maybe I didn't see it from start to finish in the linear timeline. But to me, Martin isn't really in like the top black shows for me. Now, does it have moments? Absolutely. When he had the dog and the
New Jack City reference.
Yeah, New Jack City. No, I was
struggling.
No, that reference, but I'm
trying
to think about the next one. Yes, that's where I was trying to go to.
Okay.
Damn puppy.
She was hilarious, right? So Martin definitely has his moments, but I don't know. At least for me, I don't think it's the best. And is it on any streaming services? Because I would love to watch it from beginning to end.
HBO Max.
Is it on HBO Max?
Yes.
Well, it's Max.
I didn't know.
It's Max now.
It's Max.
Max,
Yeah.
I ain't downloaded the Max app yet. But I would love to watch it from beginning to end just to, get the linear story. But I just
Well, sitcoms don't have linear stories.
But what I mean by that is watching it from season 1 to that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
They don't have stories like that.
I was saying
seeing it from beginning to end.
Like the only real growth is Martin going from like radio host to TV show host. But like
pretty much
Gina's job really didn't change. Still don't know what time he does.
Right.
It was like
Cole Big Shirley, they never got married. I don't know.
No, we got Shanice. We got Cole's with Shanice at the end, light skinned girl.
He sure did.
But see, I think so because Martin was so popular, even outside of the show, like the things that happen in the show have become cultural references. Like not knowing Tommy's job, like that's a cultural thing. Memes come off of that. So I think that's why I guess the black community as a whole hails Martin in such a high regard. Because it transcended.
Let me ask you this, and maybe this is probably your knock against Martin. You think it was the acting?
No, because it's a like y'all said, it's pretty much a sketch comedy show.
But what you're comparing it to, like isn't that what it would be? And I'm just curious.
What you mean?
Like if you're comparing it, I guess let's just go here. If you're comparing it against Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince had like for real thespians on the show. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So like if all you want, if I'm coming to here for the comedy and it's not really that for me, nothing else is keeping me here.
I guess now that you put it that way, maybe.
And I say because since Fresh Prince did give us some serious moments, like those real life sitcom moments where like the drug thing with Carl Will, the Robin incident, Yeah, I guess it's a sitcom. It gave us variety, and it gave us like
it gave us the variety, like where when Martin had serious moments, it was like, yeah, maybe it was more like the relationship stuff, right? Like the drama between him and Gina, like, but that's pretty much the controversy, right? Like at least,
and even when Martin and Tommy had that beef, they made that funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if all we're coming to this is for the comedy, what else is keeping me here if I don't laugh like that?
Makes sense. Look, Ralph is my spirit animal. You know how to articulate my thoughts.
Because I was just like, because we've done this so many times. I was like, it's like, okay, what is Johnny nitpicking? Like, let me try to see what he's thinking possibly.
And it could be that I haven't, and I haven't watched more in a while, so I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in a while, and I guess not enough to really like pick out. Well, you know what? It really don't have the serious moments like a lot of these other shows do that go in and out of it.
No, I watch Martin as like background noise for me. Like it's just like I know it's on and it's like, but it's point, it's like that's how I watch Martin now. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm watching Fresh Prince, because it's like it's a real storyline going on within the show, and like obviously Will Smith was the least talented actor at the beginning of the show, so everything centered around everybody else.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
I like I guess play devil's advocate here. As far as like the definition of a sitcom, situational comedy, Martin defined that. It's not supposed to like give you like the severity, the life changing stuff.
Yeah.
Which is why I like Seinfeld is held in high regard as like one of the greatest sitcoms. Just a bunch of randomness that can happen, and you know, I think that's where like Martin shined with that, because like if we went to like the parking ticket, staying with the boot, like Gina running around, like I'm saying, but look how you just like just any random moment, like it happens to you. Like we've all been there. Like I would say we all been there, but like you seen someone with a boot in their car, and it's like, what you gonna do?
So
let me ask Johnny.
Oh, go ahead, Brittany.
So what would you put in that category with Martin? What show do you think is there?
Well, that's what I was actually just about to ask y'all, because I'm out while everybody's talking, I'm sitting here trying to think about if there are any other shows like Martin outside of like A Living Color or something like that, because A Living Color was sketch comedy. So like, are there any other black sitcoms that don't really tackle those, I guess have like real storylines or something at some point?
Jamie Foxx mostly. Jamie Foxx was more laughs than actual seriousness.
Yeah, I think like as far as like, because like obviously, I mean the premise was always him trying to get a record deal, but like it was always. Was there a series? I actually just rewatching.
But see, they had like the after school special with the shooting with the gun and all that. Like they had their, I guess, serious moments at different times as well.
Was only one though. I think they only had. Not thinking about it, but to your point, they all had that.
Well, you throw Family Matters up in there.
Because we don't respect,
right? Ain't that a storyline?
we don't.
We don't slam Family Matters in this household.
I'm looking to see if there are any other black sitcoms like Martin that's like, I guess, just sticks to the comedy instead of
Living Single.
like
Living Single. Yeah,
kinda. Yeah. Is there anything serious in Living Single?
Right,
No. I say the only reason was Kyle, even when
Kyle and Max broke up, they still made that funny.
True.
Yeah, like it was. I don't know. I don't recall anything really being serious from Living Single, like super duper serious.
Damn,
like it was just relationship stuff mostly, right?
Right. I do like this. I do like the Steve Harvey pick. I'm trying to think, was that actually like a serious point as well?
Yeah, like I don't know how they went. It's like the things they went serious on were more like the relationships, like more family. Like it was never like Bullethead and Romeo got shot or something. Like it was never that. It was never that deep.
Right.
So not even Moesha. We don't slander Moesha in this household either.
I wasn't about to slander. I was just trying to think.
I was say, because I mean, other than my house smoking weed, which like I think the airfield as adults.
Them finding out that Ray J was really the son, maybe that was a serious moment.
Nah, that was serious.
That was serious.
Yeah, that was a serious.
That was serious. That was serious moment.
Damn, that's funny.
Now y'all got me thinking, because it's not that many of them. I didn't even think about that.
Well, I'm gonna jump into like ahead, but like my wife and kids, I know that was like they have like serious moments too.
And that's more 2000s,
Yeah, so
right?
That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
2000. That's
2000s,
2000s.
And then like the reason why the Cosby, we ain't talking about the Cosby's because that's more 80s and it bled into the 90s.
Yeah.
Right.
Same with Different World too.
Have any
Yep.
serious stuff with the Parkers like that on that pantheon of not having like a serious episode? It's all comedy. I feel like
It's like most of the like when you start talking about the UPN WB shows,
Right,
like it was really comedy for them. Like they weren't trying to do too much over there. You know, talk about the one-on-ones and half and half.
They had the same writers
gonna
as
say-
Right.
Power now.
I'm gonna go deep cut and about the Hugies because they gave him a TV show too. But didn't his son have like a gun incident or something like that? Or he got
like
used up too?
you
I
get
forgot
one,
all about
you get
the
one or
Hugies.
two, but it's merely just comedy. Like it's just
Yeah.
I'm really thinking like it's not.
as hell. Like even if you let's talk about Fresh Prince. Hell, how many times outside the dad and Carlton have a gun? How many times did they get serious?
The drug
Like
incident
serious.
and
Well, hold on. No, they did have. They had a
Oh,
lot of.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what
I
I'm
had to
saying.
think about it. Like,
And they got some of the most serious moments out of like sitcoms. I feel
because
like
they got actors.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Everyone-
they could portray that.
look,
They could do
respectfully,
that.
they got
Oh,
James Avery.
How come
Like,
you don't want me, man? Like, every time we see how come you don't want me, man, everybody should have thought to it, man.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
I got one. This probably fly under the radar, but Rock was pretty serious.
oh, very
Yeah.
serious, and it was
Yeah.
on
That's a
Fox
deep
too.
cut.
So
It's a deep cut. If you watch Rock, that's a
yeah,
deep cut. That's a good one.
Rock was one of the ones that was on Fox as well, and it's just like Fox like to push the buttons, like they like to get the people going, and it was just a black network.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Too real. It was like, relax, y'all.
Yeah, like they was choking out drug dealers and all kind of shit. It was crazy. It was crazy over there, bro.
Shit.
Dude got shot leaving outside Rock House. Like
Yeah, he was in Baltimore,
but that's
baby.
also because of the acting.
No, they
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
Baltimore.
He was in Baltimore. Big fun.
Like everybody on Rock did stage plays and stuff. So that's what made that work.
Yeah, a lot of them them trained them actors.
Yeah.
They gave you drama. Yeah,
And I think that's the start difference when you start talking about this. And it's not to diminish anybody else's talent, but if we're talking about Fresh Prince, the actors that were around Will Smith or different, your supporting cast definitely drives the show. Like you have the star, the person that you tune in weekly to see,
Mhm.
but your supporting cast is really the ones that's going to drive the show.
Mm-hmm. Iron Chopper's Iron. So like he wasn't surrounded by Phil Avery, Alfonso, and all them guys like making it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So Brittany gave her answer. She said, as a critic, Martin is not the greatest
Not.
90s.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you
No.
guys say, Ralph?
I say he still remains top for me, just because as far as like straight comedy and straight laughs.
Yeah,
that's Martin.
I keep it there because I mean, what else are you gonna put there? Like, I mean, I ain't saying it's I'm not saying it's the overall best, but it's one of the ones, and you can't really take that away from it. Like, I know we can have nostalgia blinders when it comes to a lot of these conversations, but the comedy and a lot of that still holds up. Is like it's cultural. I mean, it's just cultural. That's just what it is.
And in having our conversation, just listen to everybody's perspectives. I think I'm going to have to say it is because I feel like it transcends TV. Like it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Like even if people haven't really seen Martin as much, we get the the cultural the importance of it.
Yeah.
The cultural sayings, the memes, all of it. Like we know. Like when something transcends its original form of media, like you really can't really go against it. Honestly,
that's true.
Which is kind of crazy for me, but that's nuts. That's nuts because I wanted to come here and be like, no, more trash. But
Like
I can't do that. I can't do that though because it's not
like you said. You can find something that you prefer, but you can't take it from its spot though because
I can't take away what it has done on its own as its own form of media.
Yeah.
It has transcended its original form. But so
Brittany definitely is spot on with the critic thing because season 5 is like I'm not running any of those back. So
No, I never do. Like literally, it's only a couple of episodes in season 5 I watch, but other than that, no.
Yeah,
like I have the DVD set, and that's the only one that's not open yet.
I knew it was bad when I knew it was
They got the
bad when they
plastic
sent
on
that
it.
episode, they centered the episode around Gina's mama coming to town. I'm just like, wait, why is this even an episode? Like, why is she in town randomly and Gina's not here?
Yeah.
And like they gave us a whole episode of her trying to spend time with Martin and him trying not to spend time. And I'm like, who y'all are reaching into the bottom of the barrel.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, man, I listen.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't. It wasn't. I'm glad that we can have an open dialogue. That's great.
Everybody respects everybody.
No one's getting called stupid. No one's getting talked about. You ain't gotta block nobody afterward.
Nobody's getting proverbial water thrown on them. Nothing of the sort. So shout out to Brittany for bringing that up, because I never would have thought to really have that conversation for real. So shout out to Brittany, man. So I think
we have reached.
we might have reached the end of our docket. So before we get out of here, everybody just leave a social media handle. So Brittany, Sam, leave the people where they can find your favorite marks.
Okay, so y'all can follow us on Your Favorite Marks on Instagram. That's Your Favorite Marks spelled all the way out. On Twitter, y'all can catch us at. I'm sorry, I don't know this by heart yet. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Your Fave Marks, FAVE Marks. And if you want to hit me up on my personals, it's BBEE Ray Jones on Twitter and on Instagram.
Yep. And then go ahead. My bad.
The Sam Boogie, TheSamBoogie on both Instagram and Twitter.
Okay. Cool. And for Oversaturated, Facebook's Oversaturated the podcast, Twitter is Oversat Podcast, Instagram is Oversat the podcast, and our website oversatthepod.com. Check us out, man.
Yes, sir. And if you want to follow us individually, I'm the Mind of Ralph on Instagram and Twitter.
Twitter JON 2_ the letter B. Instagram JBS_ESL_AAMU. And so shout out to this mashup, man.
Yeah,
I think this is pretty dope for our first real mashup episode. This was great.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope, man.
Plenty more to come in the future, man. This is
for sure.
Definitely. But yeah, make sure y'all share this link with everybody. Make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe. Everybody is family today.
Yes.
But OS is definitely for the streets.
Yep. Y'all officially OS gang. Merch coming soon. Gang. And
I need a shirt.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
I love t-shirts. Yeah.
And with that, we out.
Chill.
Peace.
You are now listening to Oversaturated, the podcast hosted by Johnnie and Ralph. Now let's get it.